that was dope. He's full.
Hey, we back in here, man. You know what? They gonna try to take my energy from me, but that's not gonna happen because I stay energized like a bunny rabbit, like the Energizer bunny. I'm always with it. But anyway, hey, check this out, y'all. We got a nice show lined up for y'all tonight. Mike at night. If you're here at nighttime, you're here at the right time. Everybody knows what we doing here tonight. This is town business. This is our news, and this is our business. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
Hey,
thanks Steve Goss for filling in for me last night. I really appreciate it, bro. I really appreciate it.
Man, he showed up and showed out.
Yeah, man.
And you didn't hit that, man. You know what I'm saying?
You did a great job, Steve Goss. Man, I mean, you went 10 times.
Okay, hey, but this, you know what? Right. You got to keep that same fire, that same energy.
I got the same fire and energy. Also, you know, I just want to give a shout out. And Bishop Porter, we love you. You meant so much to in my life. Over the 2.5 years that I know you, I married your beautiful granddaughter, and you just want to let you know you're on our prayers, and we sending all our prayers up to God, and He's going to see you through this. So thank you for everything, Bishop Porter. You mean the world to not only me but everybody in Denver. You know all those who love you. Big shout out.
Hey, thanks a lot again to Steve for coming in and showing up for us. Hey, if you guys can, if you can still hear us, let us know that y'all can still hear us on here because we are having some audio difficulties. But anyway, what we want to do real quick is we want to shoot out our black-owned businesses like we always do here at Mike at night. If you're here at nighttime, you're here at the right time. Yeah. Our news, our business. So we want to send a quick shout out to Shake Beauty Supply right out there in Aurora,
Mississippi, and Abilene. Y'all go see my girl Shay Shay. That's your nickname. You my cousin now. Go see Shay Shay at our beauty supply. She over there by KG Mans. Y'all go holler at her, support, and protect her business over there, y'all.
Jabbo's Barbecue again.
Yo, Jabbo!
Hey, thanks again for having us. Hey, if you guys want to do it on location, make sure that you leave it in the comments. We would love to promote your business and any black-owned businesses that are out there. If it's not just you, or you know somebody else, or know of somebody else, let us know. Drop us a line.
Yes,
we would love to show up to a black-owned business, promote that business, and get you guys some more business during this COVID-19 time. Just real quick, want to talk about what happened last night. We got a lot of people want to try to explain. Hey, check this out. The town took care of business last night. We took care of that team next to the Pacific Ocean. Knocked them out there. We knocked them out of there. And you know what? I told y'all last night before the show started. I said, if you a betting man, if you bet, then you better bet
he
on
the Nuggets. He got his money back.
So you know what?
He lost the first 2 bets because, you know, so I always breakfast. Okay. You remember the breakfast we go to? Yeah, you owe me breakfast.
This gentleman told me when I asked him, he said he did not bet on his team. Yeah. Those were his words. Now he's going to try to prove back.
Breakfast, and I don't want no bean rain.
The last thing you need is for breakfast. I'll get you a book. Anyway, check this out. Check this out, man. Hey, love, support, and protect. We appreciate y'all for hanging in there with us tonight. We know we had some technical difficulties, but we're going to get those things taken care of here shortly.
Yes, sir.
Tonight we have a special guest. This is a Wild Out Wednesday, so you know we leave the platform open for those guests that we have in here to talk about what they want to talk about. So we've already done the love and the support. Tonight we're going to talk about the protect. We're going to talk about what it means to not only protect your family, but protect yourself in this crazy world that we live in. So tonight we're going to concentrate on the Second Amendment, our constitutional right, and what we have. The responsibility.
I remember when Floyd Mayweather knocked out, what was his name, Sergio or something? Protect yourself at all times, baby.
So we do have to protect ourselves at all times. So check this out. With any further ado, we want to get our guest in here. We appreciate him for being here and hanging out with us and going through all these technical difficulties with us. We want to welcome none other than our Alton Clark to the show. Thank you for being here.
Mr. Clark! Mr. Clark! They call him Crazy Dog, but now they call him Batman. in the building.
I wasn't winning, but just that every minute in. I'm very truly the sucker had authority.
Hey, you know we have to bump a little bit of that public enemy. You know what that was back in the day.
Oh man.
You know, with the fight, the power, and all that.
The realest of all, man.
Hey, you know how it goes. But hey, without any further ado, we got Austin Clark in the house today. A member, a card-carrying Denver native, and also member of the Guns for Everyone, as well as the National African American Gun Association. So I want to thank you for being here with us tonight and talking a little bit about what gun safety and the protection of not only the black man but people in general means to you.
Well, it means that we have a Second Amendment right that we have the right to bear arms.
Okay.
Protect ourselves.
Now, we talked before a little bit about, you said also to form a militia in a state of urgency.
Yeah.
Yes, if the country falls to a foreign power, we can form our own militia and be able to protect our territories.
Okay, and these are the places that we own. Now, I had talked to you a little bit before, and we weren't able to get all the way into it, but we were talking a little bit about, we have, especially in the black community, we have brothers and sisters out here who may have had somewhat of a tattered past and may have different charges that may not allow them to bear arms. What does that mean? And what can you explain that and what that means to you as well?
Well, number one, the racism and the system that is set up to put us all in jail, or we are forced to enact different areas such as, robbing, stealing.
Okay.
Making, if you get a felony, you lose your right to bear arms.
Okay. And so there's nothing, now because I heard before they said that you can kind of appeal that or get that expunged, but you can't expunge felonies, can you?
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Okay. The governor, president can
Pardon
give you a
that?
pardon.
Okay.
And then they will restore your rights
To bear arms.
to bear arms. Yeah.
Okay. Now that just seems odd to me because if that's your amendment right, how can the actions of one keep you from having that right? I know that it just is what it is. I know I'm not going to change the Constitution, but I just thought that was kind of odd. Where do they say that if you do commit a felony, if you do this or do ABC, you can no longer have a weapon?
It's written in the Constitution that no one should be a prisoner. No slavery.
Okay.
Except prisoners.
Okay.
That's the little caveat and the clause that comes in for felonies.
Okay.
Also domestic violence.
Right, exactly. That's what I was saying. Different charges can get you that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, it's written in there that a person with a felony or a domestic violence charge will not be able to acquire a firearm.
Now, having said that, I do want to throw this in there as well. You guys, Mr. Clark has just shared with us, and we're sharing with you. If you do have these charges, it's not the end of the road, brothers and sisters. But what I will say is this: is that if you do have these charges, you do need to go get these or try to fight to get these expunged from your record, so that you can retain your right to bear arms.
And here's a little bit of law. Restoring your Second Amendment right to bear arms can be difficult and complicated in general. However, it may be possible to restore your gun rights to be restored following a conviction, as long as it was not for a felony involving a dangerous weapon or a crime of domestic violence.
Okay, and that's what you just said.
That's when you can get it restored.
Okay, so it can't be either or.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is even in lieu of that, or in light of that even if you do have those charges, all you have to do is apply to get those records or whatever expunged so that you can restore your Second Amendment right, because that's very important. I know there are a lot of people that ignore the process of going through that and just retain weapons anyway, and we just want to say that you don't want to do that. You want to go through the proper channel so that you can have your Second Amendment rights restored. Now tell me a little bit about the organizations that you belong to and what that gun safety and all of that means to you as well.
Okay. First one is the National African American Gun Association, which is based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
That was the founding organization.
Okay.
And that organization has over 30,000 members and a little over 50 or 60 different clubs and organizations under them.
Okay.
I am the president and the regional director for 5280 Steel Gun Club here in Denver, and the Western Region director for our Western region, including Alaska and Hawaii.
Okay, so what, just educate me and educate the people out there a little bit. What does it mean, or what is the agenda of the the National African American Gun Association? What is the agenda? So, like, if I were to be a part of this organization, what is the overall agenda or mission?
The mission is to serve and protect our own,
okay,
and take care of ourselves, and be lawful Second Amendment gun enthusiasts.
Okay.
Have our rights.
Okay.
Because, the system has been geared that we do not have the right to have arms. Black people are afraid to have arms, and they're afraid to protect themselves.
Okay. Okay.
And I got a question with you, because there, a lot of people don't know this, but here in Colorado, do you have a right to carry a registered weapon with you in your vehicle?
There is no registration.
Yeah. Okay. But a weapon that you bought,
Yes, you can. Colorado law says that you can have a firearm in your car.
Okay.
Without a license.
Without a license.
Without a permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But aren't there some
Now, certain
okay.
counties you can or you cannot. You can open carry in certain counties, and you can conceal carry in certain counties. It depends on the county and their sheriff's rules.
So so having said that, I would assume that a lot of the agenda of the National African American Gun Association will be to educate gun owners on what they can and can't do in these different counties, and what the law actually requires when you do have when you are exercising your Second Amendment right. Correct?
That's correct. The whole organization is about competition, safety, hunting, recreational, and protection.
Okay.
So all that combined, you can find your own niche in the organization and direction that you want to go in.
Now, what is your all's mission as far as like encouraging? Because I know a lot of people who are gun enthusiasts or just want to make sure that they have a weapon at home to protect themselves and their family. What do you guys do as far as in the black community and making sure that you attract, African Americans to an organization like this? Because I know a lot of people that I know personally, they don't have concealed carry permits, they don't have any of these things, but yet, and they might even have records, and yet they still carry weapons or own weapons or have weapons even in their home.
If you have a felony,
okay, or domestic violence, that's against the law, and you're subject to arrest. Okay, and okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, if you're a regular citizen, they have no record or anything of that nature, and you want to protect your home, you are free to own any type of weapon you want.
Okay. 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 So I just want to ask this question also. I know that there is a problem with African Americans. So would you help let's say someone who did have a domestic violence, or with this organization, or do you know of any organizations that would help them go through the process of getting these things off their record so that they could be, or so that they could exercise their Second Amendment right?
Normally, after 7 years of a felony, you can petition the governor or the head of states that you have done miraculous things, you've made some changes, and that you'd like to have your Second Amendment rights back by seeking an attorney.
Okay, so that will probably be your first step in trying to get that
seek an
back.
attorney, because I'm nowhere close to a lawyer, or
Okay.
I just know basically that it takes about 7 years after you've killed your number,
Okay.
and your felony is gone away.
Okay, and
Does
so I
that
want to.
include with domestic violence too, after you've gone through that?
I have not seen a good case of domestic violence yet.
Okay, I just want to say this real quick to you brothers out there, brothers and sisters. If you want to keep the man, or whatever you want to call him, out of your business, do things the right way. So what I'm saying is this. If you do have a domestic violence, yes, that can be expunged from your record. You can go to the courthouse, you can go to the DA's office, you can petition the courts to get that off your record so that you can restore your Second Amendment rights. I also want to say this. If it is that felony, like Mr. Clark said, after 7 years, you will be able to, it might take you some doing, but what I'm saying is this. It's worth doing it the right way the first time, and going out there and going about that the right way, because you never know the situation that you may find yourself in. You may have to use your weapon, but if you are in a situation where you shouldn't have one, you're going to be in more trouble than you would be if you would have just took that extra time out to make sure that you were legit in exercising that Second Amendment right.
And you mentioned one thing that you guys do is gun safety. So
That is the utmost.
So at what age, because I have a big thing with this, at what age do you guys start teaching children gun safety? And do you recommend teaching children gun safety?
I was born and raised in Colorado, and my mother and father had rifles and shotguns in the house, and handguns. Those were taught to us at an early age, and we knew that was a no-no, or that's a boundary you don't cross.
So you were taught to just stay. You don't touch those. You leave those alone.
Right.
Okay.
Also, they taught us how to use them.
Okay.
Because that's what I was getting at. Because I think when a child, you hear about children shooting themselves, and because they know the parents possess the guns, but the parents never show the kids how to use the gun. They never teach the kid. So the kid doesn't know the power of the gun. So they don't know not to point it at themselves. They don't know these things. So do you guys, do you go in there and you teach children about that?
1 second real quick. Who don't know not to point a gun at themselves?
Hey, you hear it all the time, brother.
Okay,
You
all right.
hear it all the time.
I was just saying, I don't know what kind of kids you run into, man, but most of the ones I know not to point no gun
You
at
hear all the
themselves.
stories all the time about kids getting guns and accidentally shooting their friends
Okay,
and everything.
touche.
Because they don't know the danger of a gun, and
Okay.
that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Yeah, so a child that is not knowledgeable of a firearm is going to pick it up, going to look down the barrel, and,
Yeah.
and maybe even pull the trigger.
Okay.
Or shoot a friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to teach them early and young. I'm not against, it's up to the parents to teach them the use of firearms and the safety. That is the utmost part of it.
Gun safety.
Gun safety.
So
In
how do
other
you?
words, you don't have a gun in the house and store it in the open or in your drawer where kids are going to get into it. You put it into a safe or a lockbox.
Yes.
Now, I just want to say a little something about that. Now, if my gun's in a lockbox and somebody busted up in my house, that ain't gonna help me much. Cause now I gotta go try to figure out where the lockbox is.
No.
Get in the lockbox.
It could be right by your nightstand. They don't know.
Oh, okay. So you're just gonna put it next to your nightstand in the lockbox.
They don't know.
Okay.
They don't know where you at in the house. They don't
All right.
know. I mean, if they're breaking in, they don't know where you at.
See, I want that. Hey, you call it in the hood.
Yeah.
I want that thing right next to me. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
come in here. I heard a gentleman say that he said he sleep with it up under his pillow.
Yeah.
He said, and all the kids know that. He
Yeah.
said,
But if they know that, teach them how to use it. If
Okay.
they know where your gun is, then you better teach them how to use it. Take them to the range, show them how to fire it, so they know that this is the real deal.
And I get that.
And to see what destruction it can cause. Go get a
Pumpkin or something like
pumpkin,
that.
something else,
Yeah.
shoot at it so they know that it's going to cause some destruction.
Now, I do want to say this. I want to, and this is another kind of weird question, but I know there are a lot of people that purchase weapons, but they have no idea. Me being in the military, they taught me the importance of gun safety and how to properly clean a weapon, how to properly shoot a weapon. What would you say to those people out there that just, I'm just keeping this for home safety, but don't necessarily know how to use the weapon they purchase?
A weapon is a tool. A firearm is a tool.
Okay.
If you do not know how to use that tool, then why do you have it?
Because it's not going to work right for you.
Right.
Okay. Now, someone told me also, though, that if you got a 12 gauge, you don't really have to worry about aiming in the. You got to be too accurate with your aim.
Yeah, you do.
Depends on what you're using for your ammunition.
Okay. All right. And explain that.
Birdshot,
Okay.
buckshot,
Okay.
or slug.
Okay. So a slug, you would probably have to be accurate, but with that bird shot and buckshot, just aim in the direction.
Pretty much.
Unless
Okay.
you're far away, because then it's going to spread, and the pellets, you might get hit with one pellet.
Yeah, well, if someone's in your home,
Yeah,
I think you're
yeah,
pretty good
yeah,
with the
pretty
bird
good.
shot.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
think they're gonna bounce back from that one.
So, there's tactical shotguns and there are hunting shotguns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Long barrel, short barrel.
And how do you feel about the automatic weapon? Do you think it's a necessity? Because I thought personally, why would someone need an automatic weapon?
Number one, you have to have a special license to have an automatic weapon.
Explain.
You have to have a Class L license
Okay.
to have a fully automatic weapon.
Okay.
That means you got federal background checks and everything else, and they're going to look all that way down your throat
Okay.
to find out if you're okay with a fully automatic. ARs are not assault rifles. They're air light from the original.
AK-40.
No, the original ARs are not automatic rifles
Okay.
or assault rifles.
Okay.
That's where your politicians are going crazy with. They think AR means that this is an assault weapon. No, it isn't.
Okay.
An M16 is an assault weapon.
Because that's like the AK-47.
That's a semi-automatic firearm.
Okay.
Only military has that.
Yeah, that's what I shot the M16A2.
Okay, so
But then you can go on and get certain devices, small little devices that can convert that into a fully automatic weapon, right?
But they would be illegal, wouldn't
that
they?
would be illegal.
That'd be super.
But yeah, they're doing it though.
Why do you want to go to jail?
Yeah, but I'm saying what the people you hear about all the time in shows is somebody goes by an AR-14. It's not a fully automatic weapon, but then it's not illegal to buy that part, but it's illegal to merge them together to make it fully automatic. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So-
and it's
so
legal
That's the
to
loophole.
haul you off to jail as soon as they found out you did it, right?
But they ain't hauling people off the jail because the boy that was walking down the street and was busting caps on everybody.
I wanted to say
So
this.
that was a semi-automatic weapon,
Mm-hmm.
and he came from another state.
Yeah, I want to say this.
He
Why?
was underage to even own it.
So yeah, he was committing all kind of felonies
Yeah.
then.
And I understand. We don't want the Second Amendment right violated, of course. And all the gun enthusiasts, they're out there and they want to exercise their Second Amendment right. They're out there. However, I want to say this. For most of the Looney Tunes that have gone out and shot up movie theaters and stuff like that,
Yeah.
not even a background check was going to keep us safe with some of these people,
Yeah.
because a lot of them didn't even have, records. So do you think that maybe they should do a mental health evaluation before allowing people to own weapons? I mean, I understand that. Don't get me in trouble with anybody else, but don't you think that would be in order?
You're not getting comments yet? Anybody that legally goes out and buy a firearm is okay. If they're talking about shooting people or anything of that nature, then they don't get the license. They don't get the permit. I mean, the clearance to shoot. You got crazy people out there right now. If you got Antifa or whoever they are, and you got all your gun enthusiasts walking around with semi-automatic weapons, but they're not doing anything. Okay?
And yet, because you got some Looney Tunes out here, they just haven't been, they ain't come out yet.
Now the ones that are, what's his name? Clevo?
Eric Harris and Dylan Clevo, yeah. The Columbine kids.
They started this mess long time ago, and people admire crazy people for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they try to emulate doing that in a school environment.
Right.
That's just ludicrous.
Right.
So where we're coming from in the black community is to protect ourselves, because historically we have been denied that right. The Louisiana militia was disbanded. It was an all-black unit. They were disbanded. Their weapons were taken away from them in the antebellum era. It was shortly after slavery was over.
Okay.
But they had a militia of black people.
And they violated basically their Second Amendment right.
They violated their Second Amendment rights.
So I do want to say this to you guys out there, and those that are still watching. We have to make sure, first of all, that before we try to exercise those Second Amendment rights, that we find ourselves in line with the law first. And we also have to be careful with the way that we go about our carry, conceal, or whatever. Could you say a little something about that? Because I know it's different with, let's say, a white man who has his carry, conceal, or has his weapon with him, than it is for a black man. And we already seen a black man lose his life. Let the police know. And then even when the Breonna Taylor situation, that man, he had the legal right to carry a firearm, and he was still, she was still killed in the midst of that. So what can we do as far as how we conduct ourselves while we are armed?
Training.
Okay.
You get a firearm and you load it up with whatever you may want to load it up with, and you put it in your drawer and say, I've got that for protection. If you don't have any training on engaging a target, defensive firearm tactics, target practice to make sure that you hit,
What you're aiming for.
what you're aiming for.
Okay.
And you get a little orange license, your gun safety license, your hunter safety license. There's places that you can go to that you can get your little license, and they'll show you how to use the weapons, how to use them appropriately.
Well, I guess what I was talking about was more along the lines of
not
black
touching your
folk,
weapon.
black folk knowing how to take care of themselves out here. Because obviously, when it comes to a lot of white folk, they don't have to worry about the cops shooting them down because they have a weapon on them. But as a black man, we do have to be careful when we have that weapon on us, alerting a police officer, how we should address the police officer. And I just want to say this: if you are a gun enthusiast as a black man and you want to walk around with your weapon, there should be a way in which you conduct yourself to keep yourself safe. Because, like we were saying before, you can be right, but you can be dead right.
But and can I say something on this?
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like, you know, we can't do what the white boys do. White men do. I'm sorry. Yeah, you got it. You can't do what they do. So, you know, if you want to go out to the shooting range, take your gun, put it in a case, put it in the trunk of your car, and roll with your gun on there. I mean, a lot of times, if you're rolling with your gun and it's right by your side and you have easy access to it, then that's all the more temptation. I don't care who you are. If you're white, black, red, yellow, or brown, that's more temptation to pull that gun out, get road rage or something like that. If you do roll with your gun, there's nothing wrong with putting your gun. If you're really an enthusiast, it's a sport and all those type of things, put it in your trunk. And be safety when you're driving around until you get to the place that you're going to.
Okay.
That way you don't really have to do that. It's all
well, you know, that's funny because you bring me to a story when we were in California. When I was living in California, we had that situation come up, and there was a brother who wanted to bring his gun, so we were going somewhere, and he said, "Well, hey, man, I'm gonna just pay." And my man said, "Well, look, if we gotta bring a gun, you sure you want to go?" Yeah, I had to sit there and think about it for a minute. Yeah. I said, we're not going to a pleasant environment. He said, well, nah, man, but you never know what might happen. Something might jump off. I'm like, well, if it's going to jump off, I might not want to be there. But I have friends who you know, they keep their weapons around them. But I think personally, and here we go again with this word, but I think there's a certain level of emotional intelligence and a high emotional quotient that you need to have if you plan on owning a weapon, because I think that it's not the guns that kill people, it's the ignorant people that kill people.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to share with us here, Mr. Clark, before we close down a bit tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
The most important part.
Okay.
Marijuana.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that weed.
Stay off the weed.
Stay off the weed. Anyway, let's hear about the marijuana. Guns and marijuana. Yeah. One of my favorite subjects. Let's go.
If you smoke marijuana and you have a red card or green card or whatever card they give you, you are not allowed to buy a firearm according to the federal law.
Government.
Yes.
Hold on, that's very important. Listen again to what he said. He said if you got a weed card, you're not allowed to carry a weapon.
So if you use it for medicinal purpose, you can't carry a weapon. But if you do it for recreation, you can. Is that what you're saying?
No. He's saying if you got any association with weed, you can't have no pistol.
Oh, wow. That's news to me.
Exactly. And why do you think we're doing this in this type of platform? Yeah. To let these brothers and sisters know. So now, you might have your card on you. You might be riding in the car or whatever. You may be at home. You may have your carry concealed. But if you in there with the weed, you can't have the pistol. Is that what you're saying?
And man, that's like 80% of the Colorado population.
Well, we need to tell us that hey, this is about love, support, and protect. Yeah. And Mr. Clark, I'm glad that you brought us, you gave us that enlightenment. I actually knew that, but I know there are a lot of people who don't. Yeah. And now you're about to get hit with a separate charge from just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Charge? Yes.
Yeah, so feel free to fact check this info.
Guess what that gives you? A felony.
Yeah, wow.
So now
you're moving right to the...
Now you're Second Amendment. There we go.
State legalizes
just because of the weed.
The state legalizes
there you go.
But if you have a weapon and you have that and you get caught, then you can't have it. It's a felony with the feds. Wow.
That's why you have to make sure that you understand and know the law. It's not a trap. Stay off the weed. Yeah. Well, now you can smoke weed, but just don't shoot nobody.
But you can't have a weapon.
You can't. No, you shouldn't. Your mind should not be in those two places. You sit there. Man, I gotta protect myself. No.
Let me ask you this question. So you're headed to the range, and you got your gun locked in the back of your trunk, but to stop on the way to the range and got you a sack.
Well, now you're about to get a DUI.
No, but you ain't smoking it, but you just had a bag of marijuana in there. So you get pulled over, they see the marijuana in there, and then they see you got a weapon in the back. You mean that's a felony charge?
What did I say?
Wow.
Man,
I just want to.
You cannot use marijuana and firearms.
Wow.
There's a question on the application.
Oh, wow.
If you use marijuana, you can't have it.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, you have to understand too, brother. This is the federal government.
I know.
And they have left it up to the states to make those regulations regarding marijuana, but they have not made it made it legal.
Yeah.
They have not made it legal. So
well, y'all hear that? That's huge right
straight
there.
from the horse's mouth.
A lot of y'all need to head to the pawn shop tonight.
You can trade your 9mm in for some weed. Or vice versa.
Yo, I want to give a shout out to my Aunt Deborah Clark. I ain't seen you in a long time. Hey, how you doing? Thanks
Hey,
for
Joe,
supporting
thanks
us.
for love, support, and protect always. Anything else there, Mr. Clark?
There's lots more.
Oh, well, come on. Just give us one more little nugget, little tidbit.
Wow,
Something that we need.
I was trying to wow.
Now, between the marijuana and African Americans, which uses marijuana for pain, stress, and etc., you need to quit. And so, in order to have a firearm, the federal government is looking at you going, okay, now we got you on a felony use of marijuana and breaking the federal law by owning a firearm.
So now they're going to say that you brought a gun enthusiast on here to talk about guns, and now he's talking about my weed. Why don't you tell him that he needs to stick to the guns and leave my weed alone? Go ahead.
It's a trap, like you said earlier. It's a trap.
Yeah.
And they know that African Americans are going to act out.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to act out.
Mm-hmm.
And taking your rights away is the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Wow.
Putting you in a position where you can't protect yourself, your family.
And violating you legally, basically.
Yeah. They make everything illegal so you cannot move forward.
I just don't think that we are equipped as far as because when it comes to the love, support, and protect, we need to be more educated on our own rights. That's why I enjoy the movement of the Black Panther movement, because they were heavy into education and letting us know what our rights were. We are so disengaged and disconnected. Just because, let me say this, black people, just because we don't trust the law does not mean we should not know the law.
Yeah.
But we make that disconnect, and because we don't trust the law, we want to break the law. But the thing is, when you continue to break the law, you give them more power over you in what you do. The way to take away their power is to operate under a positive auspice, and that is operate under education and not misinformation. Because like our brother just said a minute ago, I didn't even know that the weed and the guns even had anything to do with each other. So that's something dope. I like.
So you know what? We're gonna reach out and see if we can get some more education in the law. We got brothers in law enforcement that we know.
Personally.
We're gonna see what we can do about that and getting them on the scene. Because I want to go on this because that just blew my mind, and I want to talk some more legal stuff here on Mike and Mike.
Especially when it comes to our personal rights. And this is just the first step in that. We started at the Second Amendment. That's the first step in having someone who is a card-carrying member of the National African American Gun Association. So we appreciate you for coming on and just enlighten us or sharing with us some things that we might not know when it comes to gun control or even weapons education.
They say ignorance of the law is no excuse, and they count on us to be ignorant.
When I was in the military, that was a focus, and that. That's almost day one.
Right.
That weapon.
Yeah.
And
my weapon.
this is my gun, exactly.
Yeah.
When you got in there, you had to learn how to disassemble that bad boy. You had to learn how to clean it. And then I literally remember being comfortable going to sleep on rocks when we had to go to the range and shoot weapons because you were so tired out there and it's hot and you done been up all day and trying to zero that weapon. That is one of the things that if you can't zero a weapon, they will not graduate you. You cannot get out of basic training if you can't shoot a weapon effectively. So if our government concentrates that much on education, how much more should we?
There you go. This is Mike and Mike at Night.
Our news, our business. We want to thank you again, Arthur, for coming in tonight and share some things with us. Hey, appreciate you, Mr. Bell, as well for sitting there. Shout out you guys. If you know some people that need to hear this, because I know who needs to hear this. The homies need to hear this.
Yeah.
So if y'all know who the homies are.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot this video out to the homies so they can learn a little bit something about that weapon.
Old dog in there. You did old dog because you can't hold a gun sideways and shoot it. That's just in the movie. We need to teach more something like that, y'all.
Real tough. But we appreciate you guys for coming out tonight. Appreciate you once again. We would love to have you back on this talk because he said he got a lot of stuff to tell us. So appreciate it.
We got to do a part 2 on this, guys.
Hey, part 2. We got to bring that one back.
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad.
You been grumpy all day, but I ain't mad at you, buddy.